What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I'm going to go over the trades we end up taking today into the Discord, as well as the game plan going into tomorrow. So, first off, before we even get into the trades from today, I ended up taking a swing on puts last week on Friday. The chart just looked way too bearish, so I'll go over this right now. First off, on ES, this is where we were at. So, if we look here, this was on Friday. We kept testing this fib right up in here, and I took my short, I think, on this test of it sometime in the afternoon on one of these two candles right here. And yeah, you guys can see the move we ended up getting today off open, massive gap down. Contracts weren't up too much because of the weekend theta. I think it was like up probably around like 50%. I was already up like 50% at the close, so unfortunately, we didn't end up gapping down more. If I would have held a little bit longer off the open, then I would have been up a lot more, but I pretty much sold right at the open. Then we dropped another like 40 points. So I mean, if you end up holding, that probably was up around 100%, maybe more. So yeah, I just decided to cut it because we were at a key fib down in here. I told Discord I was going to be trimming anyways when we came to this fib. So you probably could have got a little bit more out of it, another maybe like 20-30% on this drop, but that's where I ended up selling it off of open. And the reason for that trade was just the higher time frames here on the puts. These are different contracts, but same thing applies. So this 30-minute chart did get a little weird into the end of the day on Friday, but it did end up, I think it ended up curling up by the close on Friday. Yeah, it did end up curling up at the close on Friday a little bit, I think. Actually, no, I think this was off the open. This is what curled it, but 30-minute chart, a little funky with estimates, but the higher time frame still looked really good. We had this 1 hour chart crossing, and then we also had the 2 hour chart crossing as well. 2 hour chart was just crossing, so that's kind of my main thing that I liked about this trade was the 2 hour chart crossing, and we're holding below the fib. I told Discord if we end up breaking above that fib by 10 points, I'll be stopping out. It's the same way I used options the same way as I did with futures. If we go 10 points above that level, I stop out, and the risk reward with the options I feel like is really good, because if you stop out at 10 points, you're probably losing like, I don't know, like 10-15% max depending on the contracts you grabbed. I grabbed the which one? I grabbed for the 10th. So I had 310 at tomorrow's expiration. I think it was the 650s, I believe I had, possibly, or is it the 660s? I forget which ones I had, but yeah, those are up nice. And that was the obviously first trade of the day. Just ended up closing that out, and then I really wanted to see this lower fib right here, 138.2. We just missed it by like 15 points just around. And the reason for this, that I wanted that level and I didn't go long at this one, was because, again, when we drop a significant number of fibs, which means like we break below, okay, we broke below 100% overnight, we broke below 123.6, then we hit, I wanted this 138.2. When we get to the third and the fourth fib on the day, those are no-brainer longs you want to be taking. Whenever we get those, we're really extended on the day, and those are the trades you want to be taking. Like if we came down to 6624, 100% was slamming long, and if I stopped out of that, I 100% was slamming long at the 161.8 down in here. Those are two trades I really wanted to take. We just didn't get them after open today. I think we hit them after hours. But I'm pretty sure you would have gotten, I think you might have gotten stopped out of the 66241. I forget what the overnight action was looking like, but I didn't take anything, not worth it. I wanted to see what we looked like by open, but that was kind of what I wanted. Like I said, when we get 3 drops of the fib, like when we get to the third or the fourth fib, those are two trades that I'm 100% longing every time. It goes both ways. If we rip up, and break through, 3 or 4 fibs to the upside, those are trades you want to be shorting when we, see a move higher. And this is only when we have like trend in the market. That's kind of where I want to go against the trend when we get to that third or fourth fib on the day. So that's why I really wasn't, too, inclined to drop this 123.6 fib long. Even if you did, if you did take that, you probably would have stopped out. We probably went 660. Yeah, you would have stopped out. We did reclaim it. Could have played that, but it just wasn't something that looked great for me. Like I wasn't like dying to take that trade, so it wasn't something clear. So I decided out, didn't really want to take that trade, wanted lower to go long. And yeah, we ended up coming up to this level, which I did end up shorting here at like 12 o'clock right up in here. So we hit that level at 12 o'clock. That's where I went short. Obviously, I got stopped out of that. And the reason for that trade was actually, it looked solid. I'm not going to lie, it looked solid. Given where we're at in the 30-minute, we were down in this 50 SMA area down in here, so I'm like, okay, it's a solid. Actually, I think it might have been, yeah, 12 o'clock. This 12 o'clock candle. So we were down in here at the 50. So given that and the higher time frames were also sitting at that 50, same thing with the 2 hour rule. We were at like all the 50, so that was a good setup to take. Obviously, it didn't end up playing out, but if you took that and you took a loss, there's nothing you could do about it. 10-point loss. If that trade ended up working out and we held the trend, that would have been an easy 25 to 40 points. So the risk reward was in your favor to take that. So yeah, that was the first trade we haven't taken. Then I took another short. I took the short again when we retested this same level, because if we look on the 30-minute, what happened? So we initially ended up breaking above it, and then we got back below it. So with the candle closure below, we had 2 candle closures below, and then we got the retest of it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take another short, because we're still holding this 50 SMA here on the 30-minute. We got to bounce off of it, and then we came back, and obviously I didn't love how the 10 SMA was looking during the trade, because it was starting to point down hard, but I ignored that. It's not really something that's going to stray me away from the taking a fib trade. So yeah, ended up taking that, stopped out again. We were down 20 points on the day, and this is where you have to understand the risk to reward on these trades. We took 2 losses, but when we take a winner, what's the typical points? At least 25 points before we're trimming anything. So pretty much all you need to do is get 1 winner, and those 2 losses are made back, and we're also green. So that's why the fibs are great, and that's why you have to be able to hold for more than 10 points. You can't be taking these fib trades and selling for 10 points. You're just decreasing the risk reward in your case. So at least 25 points before I trim any. Your final TP is always going to be the next fib. That's kind of how I go about doing it. If we're really extended on the day, if we came all the way down to this 138.2 and then we popped up to 6660, you could still hold your other half, because a lot of the times when we drop the 3rd fib on the day and we come up and we test the 1st fib above that 3rd drop on the day, we break above it. It's not that strong of a spot, just because we're very extended, and it's definitely smart to trim half and then just hold your runners and see how we kind of react off of that level. But a lot of times it will break back above that level if we drop 3 fibs in a day. So those were the 2 trades I ended up taking. Red day when it came to futures, but yeah, nothing you could do about that. The trades were valid today. Wasn't the cleanest price action in the afternoon. We just kind of we broke through the fib, and then we broke back below it, broke back above, and then we finally got the rip in the end of the day. So yeah, that's pretty much how today went. And when it comes to tomorrow, this is what we look like. So it's an interesting spot, because 30-minute chart looks pretty bullish. This this is probably going to cross down tomorrow unless we get a significant gap down. So if we don't gap down a lot tomorrow, then we're going to go neutral. And if we look on the call side, we're sitting at the 50. So we're sitting at resistance on the calls. The puts over here look more bullish. So I really have no clue, where we're going to go from here. And again, this is where you have to understand how to change the fibs. So it's where that 30-minute chart crosses negative. So there's no changing the fibs yet. These are still the current fibs. And tomorrow, if this chart does cross negative, 10 SMA goes below the 50, with the 50 being down or flat, whatever 2 fibs we are between when that happens is the range. So if we cross down tomorrow and we're between 6771 and 6813, that is the current range. That's the neutral range. You wait for a break of either side. If we break out higher, we change the fibs. So we would end up flipping the 100% and the 0%, and the 0% gets dragged down to this recent low of this last bear trend we had. This high still remains the same. All we're doing is flipping the 0%, and we put 0% down in here. Now the 100% goes back up to the 69, 65 high. Very simple. And then if we break below that 6771, the fibs remain the same, because we're still holding the bearish trend when it comes to the fibs. So very simple. That's all. That's how you change the fibs. I'll go over it every time it comes up, but that's how you do it. It's very repetitive. Once you do it, it'll make more sense after you do it a lot of times. So yeah, and again, if we do rip tomorrow, you could take any cross tomorrow, really. 0DT call cross would probably be the move if we rip higher. And then if we somehow gap down a lot tomorrow, some sort of put cross will also work on the puts. And then if we do obviously break below and hold the bearish trend, and we break down out of the neutral range back under that 6771, you're going to want to look for shorts from there. And if we break out above that 6813, we're going to be looking for longs off of the fibs. So very simple plan. You just have to wait for one of the sides to break. Personally, for me, I'm probably not going to play the neutral range. I really don't care to do it, because it's not ideal conditions. When we're between the 2 ranges, the only time I'm probably going to take a trade is if we get a 0DT cross and we're at one of these fibs, because likely that fib will break if we get across, at those fibs. That's kind of how I'm going to go about doing it. I'm not really eager to stop a trade on when we're neutral. Also, CPI on Wednesday, so could be bad action tomorrow, given that market maybe will be waiting for that news. So, if you guys enjoyed, drop a sub. If you guys want to learn, join the Discord down below. That's all I got. I'm out. Peace.